The views and opinions expressed by John and DJ do not reflect those of any intelligent or rational human being and are solely the property of the Brightside Chat.
This show is a proud member of the Nerdy Legion Podcast Network. Get more at nerdylegion.com. Enjoy the show.
Hey, welcome back to the Bright Side and issue number 169.
222?
No,
Not 222?
No, today is 222 on 22.
Why didn't you plan that better?
Because the podcast goes out on 223. Let's not let details get in the way of a good story. John, the facts.
Don't let that ruin anything.
Yeah, exactly. So apparently you had something planned all week, and I just stepped all over it, didn't I?
Oh, no, I
just hit you?
Yeah, a little while ago. Right before we started.
John, we're coming in hot with the banter. What's going on? Save something for the show. We're standing here on the sidewalk.
I know.
Oh, all right.
I do my best thinking.
Yeah, on the sidewalk. All right. Let's get into the store then. While we got you all warmed up, let's get this thing going. All right. And I'm in. There's that lovely chime. Are you there?
It.
Hello?
I am here. Yeah.
What happened?
I'm pretending like I'm not.
Where'd that banter go? I lost them. Just me and the crowd.
I left it on the sidewalk, man.
Yeah,
I
know. Just me and the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, how's your week going, John?
So far so good.
So far so good. I mean, it being the Tuesday the 22nd, even though
I say being 2 days in.
2 days into this week. No, how's it been since last week? How was your weekend in the store?
I was off all weekend, so
really good.
It was great. Yeah,
good for you.
I have discovered that I have better sales when I'm not there than I do when I'm there. So it must be my winning personality.
No, it just means that your employees are really good at what they do.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, I took the day off to go play some games with my buddies, but we had a good weekend actually.
That's good.
And yesterday, President's Day, so it was a little busier than a normal Monday. So
that's true. Yeah,
off to a pretty good start.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did your books come in on time this week? Today was a good day. You got all prepped up for a big day tomorrow?
Yeah, everything is ready. I think Diamond was on time for the third time in 2022. So we're off to So I think 3 times is a habit. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah,
if that's true or not.
It's 3 times in a row though, not just 3 times in a year.
See, I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. 3 times in a row, man, we might never get there.
If all it takes is 3 times doing something, I've got a lot of habits.
That's true.
I've done a lot of things 3 times.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things 3 times in a row too.
Yeah.
All right. I can't wait to get to Real World this week. I already teased you a little bit. I still haven't even told you.
I'm
just excited about. I'm excited about a show that I probably shouldn't be too excited about.
Oh, really?
But yeah, it's like that, because I'm
excited that you're bringing something to Real World.
Thanks.
That's sort of a solo segment for me, really.
No, it's actually.
Look, every week you're plugging away on something.
Yes. I know. No,
I'm trudging along on Euphoria.
Okay, have you seen American Auto yet?
I'm walking backwards through this show. And
right. Have you seen American Auto yet? All right, then. I brought that one to you.
But I've got a lot of stuff on my list.
For this week?
Always.
Always. Yeah, I know.
Have a lot.
do you want to, do we want to do a USA Hockey segment where I talk about the meetings that I had?
Oh, no. You don't need to do that.
We don't need to do that. No.
You don't need to go there.
Right.
Unless they were broadcast, to where I can watch them.
And we did them on Zoom. One of the ones we did this week, we recorded so that the organization can watch it back after the fact.
Oh, okay.
Because not everybody could be there to get the information. So we could do that if you'd like.
Once I get caught up on American Auto, I'll hit you up for that.
Hit me up on the goalie situation in USA Hockey. You should enjoy that. Yeah, it's funny too. We're doing a USA Hockey segment right now. Every time I sit down, everybody's like, "Holy crap! What do you podcast?" No, yup.
Oh.
Because like I'll take where I'm sitting right now, and I'll put a bunch of jerseys behind me.
Right.
And so it just looks like, like hockey jerseys.
Like a studio.
Yeah, exactly. But you also have the microphone. Everybody else is using whatever. So everybody's like,
yeah,
you sound amazing.
You can tell that you're a professional organization.
Whoa.
No.
But they're like, what the heck? If I host a meeting, they're like, I feel underdressed. Like one guy said that. It's like going to a wedding.
And you're good.
Yeah. No, but like they come in and they're like, you have the guy that'll do the virtual background, but it's all sketchy around their heads and stuff. And they're like, I thought that was cool. I'm like, this isn't even cool. This is I'm literally under the stairs. So.
Yeah, with a curtain in front of a curtain.
It's a curtain. I know. If I move the stuff behind me, it's like, oh man, what was that show? We did. All right, we'll talk about it in real world. But the one,
okay.
Oh, I think it's one you told me to watch, and we started watching it. Oh, that's the one. You're gonna have to tell me now because I'll forget by the time we get to real world. Oh. The show that. Oh no, we did see it. We talked about it last week. It was the one where the guy is he was broadcasting in his he was in a meeting, but he was in his garage, and everything behind him disappeared. We talked about it.
Oh.
And I told you not to see it. That's what it was. It was that show.
Oh yeah. You told me not to watch something.
Yeah, it was a woman's name that's supposed to be like Alexa.
Kimmy.
There you go. Yeah, don't see that. Well, in the opening of it, the guy's in a meeting and it's like a Zoom call, the very opening scene. And then the Zoom call ends and he gets up and he opens the garage door and it's like a big backdrop behind him like it's an office. So, and it makes you laugh. You're like, yeah, that's what since COVID, that's what the whole world has been like, right?
Exactly.
It's like everybody's like, all right, like you said, I don't have pants on. Like that's not a joke sometimes.
We're all in front of green screens.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, I know. I guess I heard one thing where sales in like the Bahamas and stuff, people are just moving because now they can work from home and they're like selling all their crap everywhere and they're going to all these nice places and still making the same money, but it's cheaper to live there. It's like, oh my.
Yeah, they gave themselves a raise and upgraded their scenery.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, I don't even know what to call that segment. That was just
banter.
Just banter.
Yeah.
We're bringing the energy tonight, Joe.
We are.
All right. Are you ready to get to some mailbag?
Sure.
All right. Let's get to some mailbag here. And speaking of which, we're coming in. Martin.
No.
At Geekbot. Hey, Brightside_chat. Is that you? Did you see this one on Twitter?
No.
It's Harry Potter sitting under the stairs.
Oh.
And I'm like,
yeah, I didn't get that one.
Yes. And it's like, but unfortunately, this one here already has its name.
Closet of Justice.
That's right.
And that's Martin saying it too. So
so he should have known better.
He should have known better. But yeah, it's kind of what I look like. It's kind of the situation that I'm in here. And we made that joke the first time we watched it when I was watching it with Meg. I'm like, hey, that's like where I record.
Yeah.
So kind of. Next one comes from Barry McLean Jr.
Yeah.
Billy the Kid tweeting at us.
Yeah, I had to do some investigating here because that was like the second week in a row we got that tweet, and I was kind of embarrassed to admit that I didn't know what that meant because I figured it was something you brought up in the show, and I didn't pay attention to you. And then I texted you, and you said the same thing. So
I know.
Then I just happened actually to be cleaning up behind the counter at the store today. And I picked up a review copy of a comic called Billy the Kid that just happened to be sitting there in the stash.
Yep.
And I texted you right away. I was like, Eureka, I found it.
Eureka, I know. And I was.
And then further investigation revealed that he's actually the artist for that book. So
Is he the artist or the author or both?
no, he's the artist.
He's
just
the artist.
Yeah, and so it's a bit of shameless self promotion there that he's tagging onto our shows.
That's
So
okay.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I don't know if he's listening or not. I think maybe he's just tagging onto our tweets. But if he's listening, welcome.
Welcome. I know, and it's
Yeah.
well. You know what? We'll find out because now that we're actually talking about it, now we got to read the book.
Yeah.
And so,
I don't. It came out like last October. I don't have it. So I don't know.
what was that one that you had in your hands?
It was like a ash can copy. There was no.
Oh.
It's like just pictures. There's no words in it or anything. And
oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, I'll have to
So-
track it down. See if I can find that. But yeah,
I don't know how many issues there's been. I
John.
don't really know anything about it, but I didn't order it, so I'm sad to say I didn't support you.
yeah, exactly.
At all.
Well, hey, you can't read everything, John. It's a ton
Well,
of
I
stuff
can't
out
even.
there.
But I mean, I didn't even buy it for the store, so I don't.
Again, you
Yeah.
can't.
I can't.
there's a
I can't
lot
buy
of stuff
everything.
out
Yeah, there's
there,
lots
and
of publishers, lots of small press books that just languish on the shelves, so they don't always get ordered.
Right.
Unfortunately.
And here
So-
we have Barry reaching out to us. You know, we are in the top 5% of the world's
5 months
podcast.
Too late.
So not really, because we're
It came
talking
up.
about it. I'm going to
Yeah.
read it, and we'll hopefully that goes well.
Yeah. Well, if it didn't, we'll just never talk. We'll just never bring it up
Right.
again.
So
you
we'll know.
So we'll either tell you that we liked it, or you'll never hear another word about Billy the Kitten. So,
Right. So, I mean, silence is not always golden. So we will see, though. But that's pretty cool. I mean, John, we are.
Well, we're moving on now. Moving on to
When you have artists reaching out to a substantial podcast like this,
I know.
I mean,
right?
it's just, I don't care if they listen or not. They're like, we need help. And we're going,
Right.
where do you go when
They-
you need help?
they
You
chose
don't-
us to. Yep.
Right. You don't
tag.
like run down the street looking for somebody sleeping underneath a, newspaper. You go to somebody big, somebody that can help you in your situation. And Barry reached out to the biggest thing he could find. I don't
Oh no, I already looked, but
either that or he's just casting a very large net.
right. I said it was just
Right.
like it was a chain tweet.
Right. So, hey, he reached out and he got spoken on. He's coming up on 5 minutes of time here.
Yep.
Can't go wrong there. All right. All your other artists that are listening, hey, just let us know.
Yeah.
Although I will say this.
If you have any books that we didn't read or talk about, feel free to
exactly.
let us know.
I will say this. We get, believe it or not, we do get a lot of requests of people to come on and do an interview and talk about their books. We don't do that. And now there's an awesome podcast that does do that. So if you are listening to our podcast and you wanted to come on here, I'm not ignoring. I'm very busy with all my other podcasts, with this podcast, and to actually organize those things, it would just be too much. But the other podcast you want to reach out to that talks to a lot of big artists as well, but you want to promote their book, reach out to TLDR. And that podcast they do interviews. They do great interviews, talk to artists, writers, all sorts of people. Talk to Dr. Joe on Twitter. It's at Dr. Joe, right? I forget off the top of my head
I think
what it
it's
is.
at Backcracker.
At Batcracker, right. And you'll see him.
AH. It's
Bat
the
Cracker,
Boston.
the Boston
It's the
accent.
Boston Cracker. Yeah.
There you go.
As opposed
and
to,
then you can reach out to, you know what? I'm just going to pull it up right now here because I have all of his info. But you can just reach out to him and reach out to TLDR, and they do all. Why am I looking at a podcast? I need my Twitter feed. And they'll do interviews. So reach out to them. Let's see, Dr. Joe. Nope. Why isn't he coming up? This isn't bringing the energy, John.
Yeah. Please hold.
Please hold. No. Why isn't it coming up? Oh, jeez. Ah, there it is. The TLDR Comic Book Club. It's at TLDR_pod. And you can go there and then you'll see the links there for at Batcracker and at Fry Guy. That Nick and Dr. Joe do a great job interviewing people. So definitely do that. Reach out to them, and I'm sure they'll be happy to listen to you. Not that we're not happy. We're just wicked busy as we're going here. So, all right. That was a little PSA to people that want to do interviews. All right. Next up. Oh, Martin again. And here's another one, John. I hope you can answer this because you're the comic guy. Martin says, not familiar with Marrow? How dare you, sirs? Now, if only Marvel would do something fun with Blink, I'd be in.
Yeah.
No. That was from X-Men last week, right? Marrow was in. Is that what we're talking about?
Maybe so. Yeah.
I think that's what we were talking about. Yeah. And I think those are a couple of the characters. So that tells me
how much I remember, how much that book stuck with me.
Yeah. That's all I could think of is that's what that was from. Something like that. So.
You're right.
Because we were talking about like, oh, who are these weird characters? And I have to imagine knowing Martin, I'm like, he's being sarcastic.
Yeah.
A little bit. Especially since he called us sirs. I haven't been knighted, have you?
I have not.
No.
That's a dead giveaway right there.
Right. Yeah, we're not knighted. Jeez. Come on. All right, that's it. Slow week. No BJ. Slow week. No BJ Holden. Oh, well.
I was going to say, I said, if I'm really good, can I? I was like, okay. I hope there's more to it than that. I know it's not my birthday, but
you know the rule. We need 4. We need 4.
We need 4 to get there.
I just came up with my closing. All right, have a great week, everybody. Don't forget, John needs 4. Otherwise, it's no fun for John. Yeah. Oh, God. Where did we go? I knew as soon as I said it, too.
I was going to say, it's like that.
You gotta be kidding me. And that's why I tried to cover it up with Horton.
That's just sitting there on the tee, waiting.
Oh, God. Woo. Ah, jeez. That was awful. You almost left it alone.
I almost did, but I just couldn't. I couldn't do it.
I saw your face, and you were like, "Oh, I gotta." We're rolling this ball down the hill.
Well, it was almost like it was so perfect it didn't register right away. Like I was almost like, did I really hear what I think I just heard? Like, I had to play it back in my head for a second.
And you did.
And I did.
Yeah, and you did. Oh my God! All right. I'll do it for mailbag. We had 3. We'll leave it right there. Oh, boy. All right. Don't forget, everybody. We need that 4th next week. We need 4 for John. Oh, all right. Let's get some breaking news, please.
All right.
Okay. Where's our... All right, go. Ooh. Go ahead.
All right. So this is actually a pretty light week on news after the last couple of weeks where we had a lot.
Yeah.
So probably surprising nobody. Peacemaker this week was officially renewed for season 2 on HBO Max.
They've been saying it for a couple of weeks, though. Actually, months, really. It'd be like, James Gunn has been saying, don't think,
right.
Season 2 with the eyes or something like that,
But the season 2 finale was the highest rated single episode since HBO
season
Max
1
premiered. Sorry, the season 1 finale.
I was like, did we get season 2 already?
Yeah. Highest rated single episode on HBO Max so far. So
really?
Yeah. And so that's no surprise that we're getting another season. We've talked about this a couple of times, but James, there was another story this week about how after Guardians 3, James Gunn is putting all his effort into HBO Max TV. So he's locked up for at least a year and probably longer. So we know we're getting Peacemaker season 2. We're getting another spinoff from Suicide Squad, potentially starring his newly minted fiance.
What did he make her?
Yeah, he made her.
Newly minted?
Yeah. Probably not the best choice of words, but that's what came out. And
hot off the presses.
Yeah, and then probably something else too, in the same vein. So, yeah, that's great news. I mean,
Yeah.
keep him making TV for HBO Max forever, as far as I'm concerned. So,
Well, I mean, I just think he's just got such a creative mind that, I mean, it translates to TV, translates to movies. What we like about TV is it just feels like we're getting more content. We're getting more of it, right? Because when he does a movie, it's 2 hours, give or take.
right.
So yeah, who would have thought though, like when we were, here we go, old man again, but it wasn't even that long ago that it was like, if you were a TV actor, you were considered like,
we've talked about that a few times.
And now it's kind of gone in reverse to the point, almost like not even in reverse, but you have to do both.
Right.
Right. And it wasn't until I want to say within the last 20 years that it really changed. So
and there's a few that like are holding out. Like Nick Cage famously has gone on record saying he's a movie actor and will not, he turns down TV roles. So there's still a few holdouts out there, but I think more and more.
Tom Cruise doesn't.
Tom Cruise is
Tom
another
Hanks. One. I mean, there's a lot of people that haven't done TV.
Tom Hanks started
in
TV. Yeah. He hasn't come back to it yet, but I feel like he would. He actually he did a cameo on 1883, which is the Paramount Plus series, the prequel to Yellowstone. He did do a cameo there, more because he's good friends with Tim McGraw, I think, than anything. But
okay.
But he's definitely not opposed to. I think if the right thing came along, he would do it. Whereas, like I said, Nick Cage is specifically said he would not do that at all. But yeah,
also,
like the line is blurred now.
Yeah, it is a different atmosphere. I know that from listening to the actors talk. It's like when you do a TV show, you're on there. It's a different kind of a grind where you do a movie and you just go, you do the movie, whatever it is.
But you're done shooting in like 6 weeks or 8 weeks, or depending on the size of your role in a movie, you might be done shooting in 2 weeks.
Right.
Whereas with a TV show, it goes for months.
Depends,
depending on what it is and how many episodes you have. And, network shows are 22 episodes for the most part. So, you're filming all the time. So,
but there's definitely, the stigma's gone. There's no stigma. It's like you're surprised with, like we were just saying, we're surprised at the actors that aren't doing both. It's the reverse of kind of what it used to be. So pretty cool. All right. Next up here, I like this one. Sad, but not really a big deal.
Kind of a bummer, but based on the way it ended, I thought it was already done. But Netflix officially canceled Another Life this week. So Katie Sackhoff was on social media thanking everybody and letting everybody know that there would be no season 3. Now, I mean, again, TV is TV. So if it's successful, of course, they can keep going. But this show ended in such a way that I really thought season 2 was the end of the story anyway.
Yeah.
But, we both really enjoyed this show. So definitely
a lot of sci-fi fans did.
Yeah. Would have come back for more.
Yeah. I did see some like negative stuff on it. I did.
There's a lot of, I saw a lot of negative stuff, even as it was, both seasons. I heard a lot of negative about both of them, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and it was like really a phenomenal experience for like home theater enthusiasts. Almost to the point where even if you don't like the show, you'll plug through all the episodes just to experience it.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the main characters was in Peacemaker. She was what's her name's girlfriend in Peacemaker.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew. I was wondering where I recognized her.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember where I had seen her.
Yeah, she had a small role in Peacemaker, but she had a pretty big role, substantial role in
she was
Life.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I recognized her right. I wouldn't say right away. It took me like 5 minutes. I was like, where do I know her from? And then all of a sudden, okay, got it. But, hey, look at me. I'm not even scrolling along with the images here. Another Life.
Look at you.
Look at that. Yeah, slacking on my duties over here. You bringing the info and me just playing along, having fun.
I know.
Oh, well. All right. This next one here is pretty big.
So John
pretty
Williams.
Exciting.
Yeah, John Williams is going to compose some new music for the Obi-Wan series on Disney Plus. John Williams being 90, I think had said at one point after Rise of Skywalker he was done with Star Wars. But they have coaxed him to come back and he's not doing all the music for Obi-Wan, but he is doing some portion of it. Probably the Obi-Wan theme, I would imagine, and who knows what else, but more John Williams is more John Williams. Like, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I feel like he has. It can't be that difficult for him. He's just so entrenched into the Star Wars universe with all of that stuff, and that's what we want. It's like that's. Was it you that told me? Oh, it was Tom Andrew from AV Rant, and he was listening to his stuff, and he's like, if you've ever listened to him back to back to back to back from all his different, you just know they start to sound repetitive. Did you also say that?
I didn't say it.
It was like, because he does all like Jurassic Park, and he's done so many other things.
Yeah, so many things.
Right, but when you start to hear them back to back and over and like all the different versions of Close Encounters and all of the things that he's done, you're like, you see the parallels in each one, right?
Right.
So like any band, you have a distinct sound. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying that as like, we love that. That's what we want. Right. And to have that now, that's what I'm excited for, to have that to be a part of the Obi-Wan series. I think that's, I don't want to say it's going to save us from the Boba Fett snafu.
Right.
But I'm like, if we weren't already excited for Obi-Wan, I think that just brings another feel to it that we're all going to be like, oh, wow.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, so much of what makes Star Wars is the music,
Oh, yeah.
And
it blows you out of your house in that first opening scene of A New Hope, and it's like, bam, like it's awesome. That's the first
so much
thing we
of the
hear.
atmosphere and what we associate with Star Wars is the music. The Imperial March and all that stuff.
Oh.
And so it'd be interesting to see if we can pick it out while the series is happening without cheating. You know what I mean? We'll have to see if we can do that while we're watching the show.
Yeah,
but
it might be tough because either they ask him to blend with what else they're doing, or they blend with what he does.
Yeah.
That might be tough.
It might be tough, but that's what I'm saying. It'll be interested to see if we can pick it out.
I just hope they blend with what he does.
Right.
Which is the Star Wars stuff. So, yeah, that'll be cool. All right. And, I like this guy.
Yeah, this is like, he's one of my new favorite actors right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because if you're not watching The Righteous Gemstones.
Okay.
He is so good in that. But Walton Goggins is set to star in the Fallout series on Amazon Prime. He plays Baby Billy on The Righteous Gemstones, and it is so great.
He's great.
But he's great. He's been in Justified. He's been in so many things. He was the main bad guy in Justified through the whole series. And he was fantastic in that.
Did you see him in The Shield? Did you ever watch The Shield?
I did
Michael
watch
Chiklis.
some of The Shield. I didn't watch it religiously, but I saw episodes here and there. I don't remember him from that, honestly, but
he was one of
him in.
He was one of the quote cops, the bad cop.
Okay.
What they did. Jen and I loved that show when it was out, and he was awesome in that too.
Yeah,
that's probably 20 years ago, right? Something like that.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. You should see that show, John.
You know what? I would have watched. I think it was one of those shows that I got into, but Lydia did not.
Yeah.
And so we kind of walked away from it. Because I liked him going all the way back to the Commish. I remember, when that show was on.
Chiklis, you mean?
Yeah, Chiklis. Yeah. And when he started doing The Shield, I think we started it, but like I said, she didn't.
That was a
it,
gritty cable TV
it
cop
was.
show. Very gritty. There was nudity and
but that doesn't really bother. She's not squeamish when it comes.
Oh, I'm not
to
saying
stuff
that.
Like
I'm just saying.
No, I know, but I'm just saying
it's
it's just for whatever reason it didn't resonate with her. So at the time we gave it up. So
Yeah,
One of
lo-
these days I may go back to it.
yeah, we loved the commish, we loved Shield, we loved the other one was way back then was the Unit. Remember that show?
I remember the Unit. I did watch that.
Loved that show. That was really good.
Yeah.
Little way back real world for us.
Yeah, I
for a
know,
little bit
right?
there. Well, you bring up Walter Goggins. What do you expect?
Yeah.
All right. I can't wait to hear your take on this last one.
Yeah, so let's talk about the cluster that is the JLA
I have my
Avengers
finger on the trigger.
reprint. Okay. I wasn't even going to go there. This thing is such a mess. For those that are not aware, we talked about George Perez a while back and his diagnosis with terminal cancer and the fact that, he is not seeking treatment and is just going to, naturally ride the wave out. But all that being said, even if you're not going full on treatment, there's a lot of expenses involved with an illness of that sort, out of pocket expenses.
Right.
So one of his bigger works was the JLA Avengers crossover event that happened back in the early 2000s. I actually just talked about that on this show not too long ago after his diagnosis, because it was one of the things I went back and read, because, just to kind of get back into the George Perez mindset.
Right.
And so this has been long out of print. Marvel and DC are not really cooperating to keep this thing in print. But an organization called the Hero Initiative has arranged for a reprint of this through Diamond, and with all the proceeds going to support George Perez's care and his family. But they have limited this to 7,000 copies. For those that want to do the math, there is probably about 6,000 comic stores across the world.
Right.
And, are all going to want to have, all the copies of this. I would want like 30 copies of this book. You know what I mean? Stores bigger than mine would want 100 or 200 copies. But again, divide 6,000 stores or so into a 7,000 copy print run, and you can imagine that there's not going to be enough of these to go around. Every store will be obviously heavily allocated, with most stores getting 1 to 0 copies. But since this is now in the public consciousness, of course, everybody wants a copy of this. And so, stores are being bombarded with requests to pre-order this book, that we cannot honor because we have no idea at this point how many copies we're even going to get, and then how to handle the distribution of the one copy that you might get fairly to everybody. So it is once again put us in a position to where we have to disappoint the vast majority of people that want to buy this and figure out how to diplomatically get this into somebody's hands. So none of that will affect the money that George receives because he's being paid out of the proceeds of the stores buying the books from Diamond. So all 7,000 copies will get sold, and he will get whatever the proceeds of that are. But it's a $29.99 book, so we're probably paying $17-18 a copy. So whatever that is times 7,000. But why this low number was arbitrarily settled on is just beyond me. How how they can't foresee what this was going to do. I understand if they can't make it unlimited print,
Right.
But 7,000 copies is nothing really in the scheme of the worldwide distribution.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And the number of people that are going to want this. So, like I said, it's just a giant mess. I've already had to turn down multiple people that have sent me emails and requests. And every day I come in, there's a note from one of my employees from somebody else that's looking for it. And none of them are going to get it. So, me being not one of the bigger accounts out there, I'll be lucky to get my 1 or 0 copies. I ordered 10 conservatively because I didn't want to go crazy, knowing that I wasn't going to get even that. But the thinking is that if the stores put in high enough order quantities, maybe they'll go back and adjust the, once they see how many copies they could sell, maybe they'll adjust that. But
when's it due out?
April, I believe.
Okay.
And again, and this is another, because this is one of those books, like I said, it's been out of print for at least a decade and probably will never see print again. And so just the idea of people wanting to get their hands on this. I mean, it's available digitally. You can go to Comixology. I mean, you can go get it. You can find it out there.
You can read it. Yeah,
read it.
Just actually
but people are going to
owning
want to own it. And then people want to support George again, he's a beloved comic book artist. And people want to support that. So I've seen some stores setting up raffles to where they will actually donate all the proceeds that they get from their raffles to the Hero Initiative for George. And I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but hopefully we'll find out at least how many copies we're getting, and then go from there. But I don't know. It's just another giant mess from the comic book industry, because it's another one of those things where it's hard to explain to people why they can't get what they want.
Right.
And I would imagine a lot of stores will just take to the idea that, hey, I can't figure out how to realistically give 1 copy away, so I'm just going to put it up on eBay for $100 or whatever, and
whoever gets it gets it.
Yeah, whoever gets it gets it. And so I don't know, but this is already creating me giant headaches. So I figured, I would put that out there for 1 because of that, and then for 2. Understand when understand when your store is telling you that they can't get it for you. They're not trying to get over on you or profit off of it or do whatever. They literally are probably not even going to get it. So,
right.
It's just, I don't think it's any store that doesn't want to sell you those books. I would love to sell as many as I could at $30 a pop, but unfortunately,
exactly.
So.
All right. We'll see.
Yep.
Hopefully they update that and we'll have that for you then.
Yeah.
So it's too bad. It's too bad, especially for something like that. I mean, it seems like something.
And I'll be honest with you, like I don't know, like if I get 1 copy, like George is my favorite artist too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I know.
If I get 1 copy of this book, it may be on my shelf.
Then
and
you
that's
didn't
how
get a copy.
That's how I diplomatically make sure that everybody got one, right?
Right. Exactly. Which customer you pick? Okay, none. Yep. Going with me. So,
it's going on my shelf. So
exactly. So all right.
And that's all I had for news. Like I said, not a ton this week.
All right. Let's move right along then, John. What did we spend our money on this week? Check out.
Yeah, so last week I told everybody we were going to talk about Ghost Rider #1, but I had my wires crossed, and that doesn't actually come out until today. So we were not able to read and talk about Ghost Rider #1. So I did pick another Marvel book. Iron Fist issue 1 came out last week. This was written by Alyssa Wong and had art by Michael Yig, I guess, YG, and cover art by Jim Cheung. So this is who is the new Iron Fist? Like Danny Rand has given up the power of the Iron Fist and
save the world, John.
To save the world, right? And of course,
didn't just trade it for a pizza.
There has to be an Iron Fist to defend Kunlun and Shao Lao, which is the Undying, which is the dragon. And so this we're kind of following Danny Rand walking around where he bumps into this new guy dressed up as the Iron Fist, right? Of all the Ginjoids in all the world, the former Iron Fist,
Gin joints. Look at you.
yeah, the former Iron Fist runs into the new Iron Fist because there's only 8 billion people on the planet, so of course they run into each other. But yeah, so we're trying to kind of figure out. He's trying to figure out who the guy is. The new Iron Fist is kind of a douche, to be honest with you. Like
You know who you reminded me of?
Who's that?
Damien.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Looks like him. Kind of a little, like you said, he's a little cocky, a little bit like.
Because Danny's trying to talk to him, just trying to ask him questions, trying to kind of help him out with the Iron Fist, and the guy's having none of it. I guess there's other stories that I haven't been following, but he was the character that is Iron Fist now was actually Swordmaster, and I believe that was from the Agents of Atlas series.
Okay.
And they don't really go into a ton of detail about how he became the new Iron Fist. And I'm not even 100% sure he is the new Iron Fist, because his powers are coming from like bits of his sword that are broken in his hand.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he's got the chi of Shao Lao or what's going on here. This was okay. Like, it wasn't great. I mean, I'm not the biggest Iron Fist fan to begin with, but I thought this was fine. It was kind of run of the mill Marvel. It was.
It was run of the mill Iron Fist. It was Iron Fist.
Yeah,
it's like, what do you think?
Just kind of there.
Fist?
You know what I mean? Like, I'm probably going to stick with it for a little bit, though. I mean, it's only a 5-issue miniseries, so once I get in 2 issues, I'll probably just stick to it, unless I really get turned off by the second issue. But it did enough to keep me around, I guess. But it was, like I said, it was good. It was fine.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I mean, like you said, it's Iron Fist. It's I'm not a huge Iron Fist fan. It's not like I knew who he was. I liked that they had a little bit of the crossover with Luke Cage on the phone at the beginning, and he's supposed to be meeting with them, and obviously he's Danny Rand. He's still got all the skills. He just doesn't have superpowers.
He knows,
so
as he said, he knows tons of kung fu.
Yeah,
he just doesn't have the fist anymore.
Right.
So,
and I thought that was fun, and then kind of the way it ended in a dark, sinister way. We don't know what that means. Things don't appear to be what they are. Right. But yeah, it was kind of fun, but again, like we've said before, like I would like to read this. I'd like to read number 2.
If you remember,
but
right?
if you exactly. This isn't one that I'm like, oh my God, I've already bought number 2. I can't wait for it to come out. Sign me up.
This is one that I'll have people subscribe to all 5 issues, so I'll definitely have them coming into the store to remind me to read them. Because again, that's the biggest thing is, if I don't continue to order the books, that's how I fall off of a bunch of them. So
it's kind of a good way to track it too. If nobody else is reading it, why are you?
Well, it is, but again, there's books that I love that, like, I love Adventure Man, but I sell 1 copy a month of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a great book, but nobody's reading it but me. So, I mean, there are books that just don't get read because, again, people are buying 4 copies of Spider-Man every month, and there's no money for Iron Fist or some of these other things. So that's kind of the issue with some of them. It's not even always whether they're good or not. It's just there's only so much money to go around, and
they
don't
got your budget.
Exactly.
So, all right, this next one.
Okay, next up is Lion and Eagle, issue number 1. This was from Aftershock Comics. It was written by Garth Ennis, had art by P.J. Holden, cover art by Tim Bradstreet. So this was the oversized kind of black label format.
Dr. Joe bought 3 for his shelf.
But this was from Aftershock Comics. Takes place in 1944, World War II. We're in Burma, I believe, and kind of focusing on like the like India and England's portion of the war, not so much the U.S. I'll be honest with you. I got to about page 22 of this book, and I looked to see that there was like 14 more pages, and I couldn't do it. And I put it down. This was so dull. Like, I thought this was Garth Ennis. I was so excited to read this. And like for 22 pages, not a single thing happened. It was like that movie, The Power of the Dog, that I talked about a while back with Benedict Cumberbatch. Like, literally nothing happened. I don't know what happened by the end because I didn't get to it. And I've said a few times that I try not to do that with books we're going to talk about.
Right.
But I could. This was like reading paint dry. Like, I just couldn't do it.
reading paint dry.
It was so dull. Like, I don't know what it was about.
50%
like, I really have no idea what this was about.
I don't know. I'm wondering, did I want to know the backstory. I read the beginning of it again, which comes in. It seems more like, just like maybe Garth Ennis, his grandfather or something, was in World War II. Or
it's
it was
a
an homage to
historical
somebody.
story or something.
I don't know, because I don't know if it was historically accurate, because they're talking about things that I don't know. But you're right. I did finish it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know. I mean, some of the descriptions they went into, I don't know if you got to the part where on what the Japanese were doing to people.
I did, with like tying people's intestines to their throats and stuff, which I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Well, I have heard in history when we were kids, I heard stories like that about both the Germans, the Japanese, and the things that, the Nazis and things that they did for experiments just to see what would happen. But again, it was the thing that kept playing over in my head is, dude, we need this book? Like, this is a comic book. Like, I get it. Some comics we've read are very heavy, and there's a purpose.
Well, Mouse.
That
Mouse was super heavy.
Done in a creative way. This is done in like, Bridge over the River Kwai.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this I don't understand. Like, it was too,
DJ, I don't know why this book exists.
Yeah, exactly.
Call back to last week.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know, because I don't know who this is for. Like, I don't know who the audience is for this.
Right. If it comes out that Garth Ennis's grandfather was a character and this was based in something that he's always wanted to do, I would be like, okay, all right, I can understand that. Let me reread it in that context. But now I'm picking it up going, I feel like I'm just reading a World War II story in a comic book.
You feel like the passage at the beginning of that book would be like, this is dedicated to my grandfather or something. Like, because again, going back to Mouse, even though it was done creatively, you knew from the jump.
Right.
Like, that this was a book about his father. Like, I mean, you knew right away what this was. And like, if that's the case with Garth Ennis, it's not out there for anybody to figure out.
No, and it's not hyper realistic, but it's just like there's no it's comic books. I don't even know if I want to read this as a story, like in a novel or something, and be like, oh, I don't know. I just thought it was tough, and I finished it, but at the end I was like, what the? It was like if you made like what the hell is it? Apocalypse Now, and you converted it into a comic book, and you think of how dark and like dreary Apocalypse Now is, and like reading that and being like in a comic book form going, why do I need to read this?
Well, and again, looking at the synopsis here that I have, the very end of it says, Garth Ennis and PJ Holden present a tale of hellish jungle warfare as apparently civilized human beings descend into an apocalyptic heart of darkness.
Which is Apocalypse Now.
But also doesn't happen in this book. And we've said it many times. The job of a number one issue is to get you to number two. And even if issues 2 and 3 are like dark and violent and dangerous and all that stuff, I'm not going to be there because
funny you
I
just
couldn't
said that.
get through it.
Didn't it, like, wasn't Apocalypse Now based on Into the Heart of Darkness? Isn't that, am I wrong on that?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought that's what it was like. That's what Apocalypse Now was about. I thought it was about a book called, like, it was a movie adaptation of Into the Heart of Darkness or something like that, which is funny. Like, in the synopsis, they literally go into the apocalyptic heart of darkness.
Yeah, right.
I know. Maybe I'm wrong, and that's just, when you said it, it's just kind of like, I was like, holy crap, I just said Apocalypse Now, and now you're reading into I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there, but that's what this book feels like. And not saying like I love the movie Apocalypse Now, but going into that, what kind of movie this is a comic book. And I'm like, not that I'm saying it all has to be like Iron Fist fun, but this was just weird. So yeah, I agree. So what are we going with? Show name?
I mean,
number 4?
It has to be. Well,
we need 4.
I was going to say, I don't know if I liked Iron Fist that much that I want it to be the show title.
All
but
right.
if we have to choose between the two.
John, it's issue number 169.
Oh.
we need 4.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on, buddy.
I was still stuck on 222. I didn't even know what the issue would actually was.
You didn't even hear me, and you missed that one. You let that one slide. I was too busy talking. Yeah, I was too busy talking over you. You got the 2s go. I got a great number 2 story.
Oh, do you?
Oh yeah.
Did it have a chunk of corn in it?
No.
Oh.
So our laundry room is our downstairs bathroom.
Yeah.
And my hockey jerseys were hanging up in there. And I'm coming out of the bathroom, and I have one team I play for. I was number 2, and my hockey jersey's just hanging there as I'm walking out of the bathroom. And my daughter's standing in the kitchen. She was probably like 16, 17 at the time. And I walk out, and I'm like, number 2, just like an announcement in a hockey game. Right. I'm like, number 2. And she goes, Dad, you don't have to announce.
You don't have to announce it.
Right. But I'm like, oh, no, that's not what I meant. Look, I run back in, grab my jersey. I'm like, no, I was talking about this, I swear.
She said, you don't have to announce it. We can tell.
I think she even had a friend in the house, too, at the time. If I remember right. She had a friend sitting in the living room. It was like, what the hell?
That's funny.
What goes on in this house?
Does your dad always announce his bodily functions when he comes out?
Hey, number 1. So there we go. Show title. We need 4. John needs 4. All right.
There'd be a lot of questions there.
Good. There we go. Next week's mailbag ought to be full.
Yeah.
We'll get you to that 4, John.
There we go.
Oh, all right. That takes care of checkout. That puts us, we're cooking right along. Puts us right up to Real World, right?
It does, but
oh no, it doesn't. We're not done with checkout
yet.
I'd
say we have some other books that we could talk about.
Yes, we do. All right, go ahead. Well, why don't you let me pull that back up and check out. We got what do we got coming up next week?
So next week we have Killer Affairs of State, issue number 1, and Heathen, issue number 1.
I couldn't find an image for Heathen.
Oh, no?
No, I couldn't find it. I found an older Heathens. Oh, maybe that's what it was. I think you sent me Heathen. Did you? No, it's Heathen. It says it right here.
I think it's Heathen. Yeah.
Just sound like Elmer Fudd. That's
what
Heathen.
Well, that's what I typed, but it could be Heathens.
Foghorn.
I don't believe it is. I think it's Heathen.
Yeah.
I say.
That's what you said. I think it's Heathen. I say. I was like, what the hell? Foghorn Leghorn jump on the show? Yeah. Like, I say. I reckon. Heathen. Yeah, so anyway, Killer Affairs, which is the Killer Affairs
I think it's
of
Vault,
the State.
if I'm not mistaken, but I think that's from Vault Comics.
Is it Vault? I don't remember.
Might not be, but I think
it doesn't. The cover that I have
doesn't say
Archaea at the bottom. Doesn't have.
Oh, Arcadia.
Archaea. Archaia. Archaea.
Oh, okay.
don't know.
I don't even know who that is.
But I did recognize it when I looked it up earlier, which one it was. So
Okay.
I don't think it was Vault though. But yeah, so Heathen #1. So I'll look for that next week. I couldn't find an image for it. I saw like something came out back last November. So we'll see. But
I was
let's see.
gonna say I can probably send you an image of it. Let me see if I'm right. No, it's definitely Heathen.
Okay. I believe you.
Now there's also a book called The Heathens, but that's
Right.
going to be that comes out next week as well. But that's issue 4.
Right.
Heathen.
Yeah,
number
because that
1.
started, like I said, I found that one. That was in November.
Okay, Heathen is from Vault Comics.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, the Killer Affairs of the State is something else.
Yeah.
All right.
all right.
But what else do you
and
read?
then I read Batman the Knight, issue number 2. So this is the one I talked about, issue number 1. It's Chip Zdarsky, and it's kind of, again, the retelling of Batman's origin. This is a still pretty good book. Batman is in Paris, I believe, and he's trying to learn his craft, and realizes that he sees somebody committing a crime and attempts to stop her and is unsuccessful. And then they kind of hook up and he realizes that to beat the criminals, he has to be the criminal, right? Like he has to be better than them. And so he actually they kind of team up, and he goes on like cat burglaries, burglaries and different things with this character. And it's definitely, it's not Selena Kyle, but it's definitely like the precursor to Catwoman. And, so Bruce definitely has a type, right? Like he imprinted on this lady, and it follows him throughout his life. But yeah, so it's basically, it's a young Bruce Wayne, and he's kind of out there, he's committing some crimes, and, trying to learn how to be Batman. But this was, like I said, I've just enjoyed this book. Chip Zdarsky does a great job with like character development, and Alfred wasn't here in this issue, but I really liked Alfred in the first issue, and like I said, I like where this story is going, so it's been pretty enjoyable. And then Thor 22. I didn't want to talk about this specific issue as much as like the latest several issues of the book, because Thor has been a great read since it started again.
Yeah, you were saying that a couple weeks ago too.
But this last couple of issues, if you're not reading it, Mjolnir, which is the hammer, has become like a sentient being, and is kind of fed up with Thor, and they're not getting along, and it's been pretty interesting, just to see, like he brought back Donald Blake, which was like the old alter ego of Thor, back in the, they've kind of done away with that in, I don't know, the last 2 decades or so worth of Thor comics. But back when Thor first came out, he was a human that had a cane that he tapped on the ground, and he turned into Thor. And so Donny Cates has brought back all these characters that are kind of been lost to time, and it's just been a really good book. But these last couple of issues with the hammer have been really, really good. So I recommend to anybody that's not reading Thor right now, at least check out, I think issues 20 through 22 are the current storyline, and they've been really phenomenal. So
cool.
That's it, really. I mean, I read some other stuff too, but those were the only 2 that really kind of stuck out.
The latest Nightwing. Did you read that?
I did read it.
Do you remember?
Did it come out this week? That Nightwing was a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
Probably. It was probably not just this past week. It was probably the week before. I just got to it this week.
Okay, yeah. I talked about it.
Did you?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, I think, when it came out. That was the one with the Titans, right?
No, that was
What happened in this issue?
This one was he talking about John. He had to help John.
Oh yeah.
And it started back
Yep.
back in time when John was much younger.
Yeah, I do
John-
remember
John
that.
Kent.
I kind of forgot that was a Nightwing book 'cause I thought it was a Son of Kal-El book.
Exactly.
but,
I had to go back and look at the cover. I'm like, did I
Yeah.
open up the wrong one? Like,
Yeah, no, that was actually really good though.
yeah, it was. That really was. Yeah, that was great. Really good. Nightwing, the way that's going, everything about it. It's another one of those books that it's a must read. Every
Yes,
month you
it
see
is.
it, and you're like, oh, okay. King Spawn. Keeping
I
up on
read that. Yep.
What about Knighted? Are you keeping up on Knighted?
Yeah, I'm all
The-
caught up on that.
DAWA, yeah. That's
yeah,
pretty good.
I think there's only one left.
Oh, is there really?
I think it's only 4 issues. Might be 5, but for some reason I think it's 4. Yeah, it's been
gotta be
really
5
fun.
because that was just 4.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
thought
don't
was
think it
3.
ended
Okay.
there, yeah.
No, it didn't end there. So
Yeah.
I guess there's one more.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I read Vader. That was also a couple of weeks ago. Same
Yeah.
weekend, same week, Nightwing. Caught up on that. And that one there, I really like what they're doing. It's like, I think they're bringing more depth to obviously the Vader character, but you have to remember this is taking place in between. It's like right before Jedi, right? It's
Right.
between Empire and Jedi. So it's part of the story. You lost sight of that for a little bit because some things,
Right.
and it could have taken place anywhere. But now we're getting back into, you got, Crimson Dawn is coming back in way more.
Exactly.
A lot of good stuff going on that, I don't know how long does that run? It's just ongoing, right? So
Vader?
yeah,
Vader's ongoing.
yeah,
Crimson Reign is a mini, it's a mini series that's taking place, but they're all kind of interconnected.
right.
So
But yeah, that was good. And Nyx from Dynamite.
yeah, I'm not reading that.
Yeah, I'm up to number 4 on that. I actually like it. It's actually
Yeah.
pretty good. It's they talked a little. This recent one they mentioned, I believe they mentioned Vampirella in this one, but it was
Oh, did they?
very short, like just to tie it in. But she's part demon, part human in this one. I mean, she is through the whole thing, but
Right.
what the story is about is she's trying to choose one side or the other. And I think early on, she's trying to get rid of the demon side and become more human. And then in other part, and now she's trying to get rid of the human side and become more demon because she's like, look, if I'm going to be a demon, I don't want to feel the guilt of a human. Right. Like, I just want to be the demon and then not care when I destroy stuff and kill people. Right. And she's like, but if I'm going to be human, I want to be loving and I want to do this. And she runs into a character in this one and goes, you're not part of, that's not your two personalities. She's like,
Right.
that's human. She's
Yeah.
like, you're just all human. It's like, that's the personality of human. That's what it's like. And it's like, we have that and all the fears, the anxieties. It was really cool. And I like really enjoyed it. And I like where the story's going. It's a lot of fun. And it's another one of those that, like, I'm not saying leave your brain at the door, but it's just a fun book
Right.
to read. So that's about it for this week.
Okay.
And of course, I still haven't finished Saga. I'm pretty close though. If I
Okay.
don't finish it next week, it means I just did a lot of other stuff around the house. But yeah, really
yeah.
good.
Well, the new issue comes out
The
today.
second new
so-
issue comes when
Yeah.
today?
Today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All
Oh,
right.
yeah, I'm looking forward. That'll be one of my first reads this week.
Yeah. Let's see. How many? I might only have like 8 books left to catch
Oh,
up.
okay.
So I should be able to
Yeah,
finish it.
they're quick to read.
Yeah.
It's just if you have, you just have to have a little time to sit down and do it.
Right. But I'm enjoying it. I'm not trying to read it quick. Like
No, I know.
sometimes you read stuff, but like I said last week, I'm like, I
But
read
it
the first
also
one.
you get to the end and you just want to keep going. So
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
not like you're trying to read it fast, but you just want to keep
Right.
You just want to keep reading.
Yeah. And like,
Yeah.
and I still haven't finished For All Mankind season 2. I still have 1 episode left. Still sitting there
Or
waiting for me.
Lucifer or
Or
Chuck.
Lucifer. Chuck. Well, Chuck I finished a few times, but
Yeah.
But yeah, that's funny. All right. Is that it for checkout then?
Yeah.
All right. And now, John,
Now.
are you ready to get to
The
some real
moment
world?
we've all been waiting
for? We call this segment John's List.
Yeah. John's List. All right. Well, the first thing, we finished watching Afterlife, which is the show I talked about last week with Ricky Gervais.
And we started it.
Oh, did you?
Oh, I love it.
It's great.
It is great, but it's like I haven't cried yet. I don't think Jen has not cried yet.
You might. Yeah.
And I'm like, but I'm too busy laughing and enjoying it, but it is so heavy.
It is very heavy. They call it they refer to it as a black comedy. And it is definitely that. There won't be a season 4. Like season 3 was the end of the story. Yeah. Season 3 was the end of the story. So there's 18 episodes total. And yeah, I'll tell you, I never disliked Ricky Gervais specifically, but I can't say like I was a fan either.
Oh, I love him. He's so sarcastic.
After this, like I'm going back and watching like the
Office,
like The Office, and which I've never seen. I've seen the American version a bunch, but I've never seen his version.
I've probably seen his version more than I've seen the American version, and that's to say I haven't really watched the American version, but I know his. Right. He is so good. He is so sarcastic. He is so quick-witted in real life, in anything, but just I have to imagine that when he does these shows, it's like because he writes these things, so he probably writes everybody else's stuff, and then he just goes
right.
Because some of the stuff.
Yes, he is like. Again, like I said last week, he is like my hero in this show because he just says,
he is the hero.
But he's my hero because he says all the stuff that everybody wishes they could just say to everybody all the time. Yeah, I will say that by the time you get to the end of the 18th episode, like it is a little repetitive because every single episode opens with him in bed watching a sad video and you want to cry, and then he feeds the dog and they go for a walk, and it's kind of a lot of the same, but it's also
life.
But it's familiar and comforting too as you're watching it.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, I really loved this show. I can't say enough good things about it. If like I said, I don't know if you get the Ted Lasso vibe or not, but I definitely did.
British.
Just because it's British, but it just kind of had, it has a lot of sarcasm and humor, but it has that heart underneath it.
Yeah.
That Ted Lasso has so much of. And like at the end of the day, this guy is still a decent guy. Like he's still a good dude. And he's like, out to help people, even though he's miserable. And just like I said, super good. I really recommend it.
To take something like that. Like I'm thinking while watching this, how did he come up with the idea to even make this into a show?
I tell you, I was just going to say that. I went and Googled.
Jesus,
because I went back and looked to see if he actually like experienced this.
Right.
Because it was so well done. I couldn't believe that he would just make all this stuff up without actually having experienced it. But I couldn't find anything that talked about him having a dead wife or anything. So I don't think he did.
A dead wife.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know. It just sounds like when you put it that way. He has a dead wife.
It just feels like you can't write that without experiencing it. But I guess he did.
But to make it into a story like this that is entertaining but meaningful, it's like we're entertained by his caustic tongue.
Right.
It's like, but we also feel for the character as well, and all the characters around him. And it's like, it just like, I mean, I'm looking at it, I'm watching the show, and Jen and I keep looking at each other, and I was like, oh, if you don't think that that's not me, if you go, just jeez.
Right. Well, I know that's like, I told Lydia, I was like, I don't have any videos of you. Like, I don't have anything to watch if you're gone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't have that. Like, I want to start taking videos so that, I'll have something.
Yeah.
But it's because he videotaped his entire life. You do realize that. But
I have a video somewhere of Jen that we always laugh about. We were on vacation in Canada, and it was like I think a second year of marriage. So
Yeah.
back in 94 or something, like 95. And we went up to Niagara Falls, and we were in the park across the street from the falls, and we were bored. We didn't have a lot of money, so we couldn't do a lot of stuff, and we were just walking around, but we had bought a video camera. And I was just like, I was pretending to be like a news tabloid, like, ma'am, what are you trying to hide? But she doesn't want to be on camera. So that's why I came up with it. I'm like, she doesn't want, and I'm chasing her around trees, and we're just crying, laughing. And every time we see it, we're just like, she's a kid. We're just kids, running around. It's the funniest thing. So I'll come across that someday, and probably,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like amazing show. Amazing. I got it confused when you said Another Life didn't get picked up for season 3. I go, no, Afterlife has a season 3.
Yeah.
But I always got those mixed up. Like when somebody said Afterlife season 4 was coming out, I was like, Afterlife season 4, season 3 was, because that just came out recently. I was like, wait a minute, Another Life season what? Huh? But yeah, I get those
very
two mixed
similar
up.
names.
Yeah,
because Afterlife season 3 it just dropped.
Yeah, like a month or so ago, right?
Yeah, so
a couple months
last
ago,
month
maybe?
or so.
Yeah,
because that's how I found it, because it popped up on like the What to Watch things because it was new.
Yeah,
and it's like a couple of people on Garmin recommended it on like that What Are You Watching segment, and I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. And I'm really
I think
glad,
Ralph's
I'm really glad
listening
that
to
I
our
did.
show.
He must be
picking up our segments.
picking up shows from us. So yeah, we finished. Like I said, we finished that, and then started watching the new season of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel that just dropped on Amazon Prime.
You're gonna tell me I should watch.
Oh, you should. It's fantastic.
Yeah, we did. We watched season 1, and we liked it. It is really good, but
I really
can't watch
like
everything.
it. Yeah. So season 4, it looks like they're going to drop. This is weird because they're dropping 2 episodes a week, every week, which is unusual for Amazon to do that. But they dropped 2 episodes for week 1, and then I was looking at IMDb, and it looks like they're dropping 2 per week. So, so that'll be one that we'll follow along as it goes. But like I said, Lydia and I both like that one a lot. Space Force season 2.
We want to
Netflix.
start that. How is it?
Yeah, it was okay. It's
that's what we said about the first one.
Yeah, it's only 7 episodes. They're 25 minutes each. So again, it's less than a Snyder cut. You could just kind of sit down and watch it.
Isn't everything less than a Snyder cut?
Yeah, I think my life is less than the Snyder cut. Really.
I know.
But I kind of felt myself as I got like 5 episodes in, and I was like, these are all fine, but I don't know what the season's about.
Right?
They just kind of felt like they weren't all. It was almost like a sitcom where they were just individual little stories every week. And it kind of had to thread by the time you got to the end of it, which was only 7 episodes.
Right.
But it was fine. Like I said, it was the same as season 1. It's sort of funny. Malkovich is really good in it. Yeah. If you like the first season, yeah, if you like the first season, you'll enjoy season 2.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people didn't like the first season. I was surprised I got a second season.
I was too, because I could have seen it going away after watching the first season.
Right.
But and I don't know that it'll get a third season, but it definitely set itself up for one.
Of course.
So we'll see what happens there.
But Steve Carell, like you said, Malkovich.
Yeah,
it's like,
and John
so,
Malkovich.
Yeah, it's so good. They're good. And they're outside of everything, they're just great actors. And it was just fun to watch them like kind of really just screw around, Yeah. And that's basically what it is. It's not, it's not going to change your life,
It's not. It's not Afterlife or Ted Lasso.
No,
put it that way, but
no,
but it's fine.
It's a notch above that Kevin James NASCAR show.
Yeah.
Which we both liked, but that was like, So what else you got?
It was also a notch above this. I started watching Murderville, also on Netflix. Have you seen this?
No.
Do you know what it is?
No.
So it's basically like
Doesn't sound good though.
It's like a celebrity game show in a way where you're trying to solve murders. So you've got Will Arnett, who stars in all the episodes, and he plays a homicide detective. And he has a different celebrity guest star every week.
Yeah.
First week was Conan O'Brien. Second week was Marshawn Lynch. That's as far as I got. I didn't really like this. It was too goofy. But
so
it was
is
essentially
it a scripted
like,
show that's supposed to
it's a
look
scripted.
like?
It's sort of scripted. Like you definitely get the improv vibe here though, because there's a lot of cases where they're like laughing at each other's jokes and stuff because you can tell that they weren't expecting them to say certain things that they said. But it's Will Arnett. Like I said, he's the constant. And so basically the premise is he gets teamed up with a new partner every week, and it's like a celebrity. And it's like a 20-minute whodunit. And at the end of the episode, it's kind of like the end of a game show. They basically ask the celebrity to solve the case.
To solve the whatever.
Yeah, and then there's the chief of police who's like the ringmaster or like the host comes out and says, whether they were right or wrong and, gives all the clues or whatever. The premise is good, and I heard really good things about it, but I didn't really like it. Now, it could be that the first two guests were probably like my least favorite people of the bunch. Like, I don't like Conan. Yeah. Well, he's not funny.
I think he's funny because he's just not anything. He's just like that's why
I am not a fan
funny.
of Conan O'Brien, really. And Marshawn really didn't do it. But there was a couple of other ones, like Annie Murphy has an episode, and Ken Jeong or Long, or with the guy from The Hangover, the Asian guy that's like a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, those episodes might be better, but I didn't get that far because I didn't think it was that good. They're only half-hour episodes, though. So. And since they're kind of all on their own, I may just jump back in and watch like the one or two that I want to see and see if they're any better. But
see if there's any people you like better.
Like I said, it's a good idea. And there's also a British version of this, which I hear is much funnier. So I may go seek that out. Yeah. And try to watch that instead. But I didn't enjoy it.
You know what's one of the you ever watch Top Gear? And then
I've seen it.
Have you seen the British version?
No.
Okay, so
I don't think so.
All right, if you only know the Americans,
so. Yeah,
then you only the British version was out for years before the American version, right? And then the American version comes out, and it is so bad, only because they nail it. They do everything the British version did. But what was great about watching the British, Joe and I watched it while he was growing up. We liked cars, we love all this stuff, and it was hysterical. These three guys would just, it was a legit car show, but it was also entertaining and funny. And what you found out when they come out with the American version is like, it was all scripted, and you're like, wait a minute, that seemed like so much fun, like three guys having fun and off the cuff, and now the Americans are doing the exact same thing. So you know what I mean? Like if it's a scripted show, you get it. But if it's supposed to be a feature about talking about cars and particular cars, and then they do these little stunts with cars, the American version was like, we started watching it and we're like, I remember this episode. This is so bad. And we couldn't watch the American version. The British version is always better because they come up with some of the funniest stuff and then we duplicate it. And if you've ever seen the British version, you're ruined. You can't watch the American version because you're just like, okay. So, same with The Office.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Which I watched the American version first, so if I go watch the other one, maybe it'll be better.
It's kind of like read the book and see the movie, but see the movie first because you'll ruin it for you if you read the book first.
Right.
It'll ruin the movie. So, hey, let that be a lesson for you. Don't ever watch British TV.
Yeah, it'll ruin you.
It'll ruin your American experience.
There you go.
Oh, just kidding. Clearly.
Yeah.
That's all I watch. What else you got?
I watched, I finished off The Legends of Vox Machina. The last 3 episodes of like season 1, part 1 dropped this week. So I finished that off. So overall, it was a pretty good arc. It was 12 episodes. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Like I said, I like D&D and I like those characters from the comics. And like I said, I thought they did a good job with the voice acting and kind of bringing the characters to the cartoon. So really, like I said, really good.
Cool.
And then the one we're watching right now that we just started. We've actually already finished season 1. Dead to Me, which is got Christina Applegate and
we've seen. I think Jen and I saw that.
Christina Applegate and why can't her name's escaping me now? Linda Cardellini is in it.
Yeah,
and it's 2 seasons. The first season we just finished. Again, these are 30-minute episodes. We're enjoying this too. This is, again, I don't know how to describe it. It's not really a comedy, but it's maybe a black comedy as well, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, the premise is that, not to give it away, but it's right there on Front Street. Linda Cardellini's character kills the husband of Christina Applegate, runs him over, and it's a hit and run. And then she kind of like worms her way into her life. And it's kind of that whole, they're trying to solve the who killed the husband. Meanwhile, she's there all along trying to help her. But I don't know. We like it.
Yeah,
so far it's been pretty good. We just started the first episode of season 2.
Yeah,
so I don't know how this one's going to go, but this was pretty good.
Let me know, because I know we watched it. We watched it when it was out. We loved it, and it's very uncomfortable.
It is,
because you're like, but now they're like best friends.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I think I know what happened. I think, if I remember correctly, I know what happened. So let me know when you get there, because I know we finished it. John, it's something I watched that you had.
Something you watched that I didn't watch.
You know what's funny? We probably weren't doing this segment then. That's probably when I watched all my content, back when we weren't doing this segment. So I'm all contented out.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, so we're watching that. And then, of course, like every week, I watched all the football. I watched at least
soccer.
5 games. At least 5 games this week. It's called football.
Oh God.
Football.
That's a New Englander moving to Texas saying football.
Yeah.
You were closer with Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah. I say. Football.
Exactly.
But yeah, like I said, I watched a bunch of games this week. So
cool.
That's about it. Yeah.
All right. We're loving Sopranos. It's a good new show, John. You should check it out.
Let me find that. See, where's that at? Is that on the HBO?
It's on the old HBO.
All right.
And I hate to say the term, but plugging away on The Expanse, enjoying that. Euphoria, all those good ones.
I'm walking backwards through Euphoria.
Yeah. Jen asked me about The Cleaning Lady. So
we're still watching that.
Okay, we haven't watched anything yet, but I saw it on the notes here today, and I was like, oh yeah, because I put it in my notes on stuff to check out. And she had asked me, like, I think it was Sunday afternoon, we were sitting around, and she's like, what do you know about The Cleaning Lady? And I was like, kind of like, I don't know. What do I know? I don't know, whatever. Yeah. And then I saw in my notes, I'm like, oh crap, I do know.
Yeah.
I do have information on that.
It's been pretty good. Again, it's just a weekly show, so nothing to binge.
Yeah.
Really. Well, although I guess you have 4 or 5 to binge now to get caught up. But
so other than that, I mean, we're going to talk about Peacemaker in a few minutes, finishing that. But I wanted to tell you about this one. It just started literally Monday night. Just started. It's on NBC, which you get it on your Peacock.
Yeah.
Endgame with Marina Baccarin.
I mean, I didn't watch it, but I've seen the previews for it. I do want to see that.
It was fun. I watched it. I told Jen last night, she was watching something else, and I go, do me a favor, hit record on that, because we can record it. But then I was like, I got up this morning and I'm scrolling through to watch something, and I was like, oh, it's right there on Peacock, commercial free. All right, I'll just watch it there. So I watched it this morning, and I was like, it was a lot of fun, but you have to keep in mind, it doesn't have the production quality of of what we're used to on a streaming service. It doesn't
Right.
have, but it was
Neither does The Cleaning Lady. That's an FX show, or it's like
right. That's what I mean.
it's a network TV show,
Right,
USA or something. So,
But what I liked about it is, I love Marina Baccarin, right?
Yeah,
And
well,
you've
what's not
seen
to
her in
like?
the commercials, and she's in that blue dress, and
Yeah.
it's, cut down to here, and they're playing that up for all it's worth. But I like the idea, like, she's supposed to be the most powerful woman in the world. Like, she's
Right.
an arms dealer and everything. And it's got a little bit of a it's funny, we were just talking about it in my podcast the other day when I recorded for my Takeover Tuesday podcast. Die Hard 3. It has that kind of a feel, like you don't know how they're playing off of each other, what's going on here, how is she able to do the things she's doing, and it's like got a lot of fun, like, mystery intrigue to it that I'm really enjoying. And I don't care if it's mindless or not, and it's stupid at the end. I'm just having a really good time with it, and the characters are fun. They're not fun, but you get invested pretty quickly. Like, you're like, how is this going on? And it's like it's basically like watching somebody play chess, and they're like 10 moves ahead, and you're like, how is she doing this? And then again, like a good comic book, by the end of the first episode, you're like, all right, they kind of reveal how, why, and everything. Not even how, just why she's doing it. And you're like, all right, that's a good story. Let's have fun with it. Let's go. And I really enjoyed it. So
Cool.
Yeah, check it out. It's not, like I said, NBC on your regular TV, but if you have Peacock, you can get it there. And Peacock's free if you get the commercial version, right?
The commercial version
Version's
is
free.
Yeah.
So yeah, check it out.
Have you started Suspicion yet?
No, that's on my list
Apple
too.
TV?
Yeah,
Okay.
I definitely.
Still watching that. That's been really good.
Yeah, anything on Apple TV Plus, you gotta take in, at least give it a shot. So, but yeah, that's about it. American Auto. I almost clicked on Wheel of Time. Now my list's so small. I'm telling you about the stuff I almost watched.
Right.
We didn't even watch any Ozark this week yet. That's funny.
Oh, you're not even done with that? You're not done with Ozark yet?
Oh my God, no. Well, here's the thing. Who cares? It only brings you to halfway through the season. All you are is pissed off I didn't get the whole thing. So you know what? I'm doing it right back at them. I'm halfway through the first half. How's that?
There you go.
How's that, Netflix? You're not getting my clicks.
That'll teach you.
Yeah. You're not getting my clicks right away.
I did drop off a Squid Game, too.
I told you.
I watched the second episode, and I was like, I'm just not super into this.
You
I don't
kind of
see
know
what
where
the
it's
hype is all
going.
about.
I've seen gore before, and it does,
Yeah,
I didn't get the hype, but.
I didn't either. And I was like, I can't be bothered. I'm going to go watch The Office instead.
That's quite a drastic switch.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, all right. Let's get to Peacemaker.
Yeah.
What a great show.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's so good.
I'm putting this on par. Honestly, I'm putting it on par with WandaVision, with Loki, with just the creativity and in writing, in the idea, in what they did. They took a character that, I say they, but James Gunn took another character that nobody wanted to see. Have you seen the YouTube clips and stuff of John Cena reading like tweets? Like,
oh no.
These are tweets when they decided, like tweets that came out when they said they were making a Peacemaker show. And he's like, who the hell wants to see a Peacemaker show? And he's swearing, like he's saying all the swears, but it's like, this is the dumbest character ever. Why did they decide to make this into a show? And it's really good. But yeah, they took that. And then on top of all that, they make a show that, like I said a couple of weeks ago, they're like, it's about like your upbringing. It's about how you can, things you can overcome, things that can happen, what's happening to these people, why they're happening to be, it's just an amazing, deep show about a pretty shallow, what seemed like a pretty shallow subject, right?
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Well, no, I
know.
Just was listening. No, I really liked it. I really liked it. I don't know what else to say. If you haven't watched it, you're like the only one. So I think everybody's seen it by now.
That's pretty
Um,
interesting, though, that you said it's the most watched season finale for
It was the most
HBO
watched
Max.
single episode, period, on
Oh,
HBO
really?
Max. Yeah.
Ever?
Of any
Like
of
in a
their-
day? Or like,
Of
because
any of their shows. Yeah.
didn't anybody see the final? Didn't anybody see the shows leading up to it? That kind of doesn't make
Well,
sense.
I know it doesn't make sense. I don't know who watched the finale without watching the,
That's what I
the
mean.
first episode, but that's what they said. I mean, it was
Yeah.
it was in the headlines, DJ. That's all I know.
Yeah, you didn't read it in depth. I saw the headline and I interpreted it as such.
That's right. This is what it said, and so this is now fact.
Right.
So
That explains a lot of what's going on in the world.
yeah,
What'd you
it's a
think of the
TikTok
finale?
world, DJ.
Yes, it is.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great. Super fun. Loved the cameos at the end that I was completely not expecting. Although I will say that that's exactly what I said, like on episode 3. I was like, okay, there's an alien invasion. All this stuff's going on. This is DC. Like, why don't we just call Superman? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
we don't have to put up with all of this. Just call Superman, and
Yeah.
But yeah. So I guess to give it away a little bit, we had some
Been all over Twitter.
surprise cameos at the end, and I thought the interplay between Barry and Aquaman was really good. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That.
if you Barry,
Yeah. F you, Barry. Yeah, that was pretty
So that was
cool.
good.
There was, I mean, I saw some rumors online that others were supposed to be in there too.
well, Batman and
Outtakes.
Cyborg were supposed to be there, and they didn't use them. Ray Fisher, for obvious reasons, not too happy with Warner Brothers these days.
I heard he's
Uh,
back though. I heard he's
and
working
Ben-
with them again.
And Ben Affleck, again, famously, is just kind of done with Warner Brothers.
Right.
So, I mean, honestly, I guess we're just gonna say it. We didn't have Henry Cavill or Gal Gadot either.
No.
But those were more scheduling issues than anything.
Yeah.
But obviously, Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller were there, and that was pretty funny.
Yeah. It was
So-
pretty cool having them there. Even the way they did it for all of them being there
Yeah.
was pretty cool. And then the way they laid it out, and you were just like, oh, okay, all right. And then when we actually got a couple of the characters, I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
I thought we were
Yeah,
just
because
gonna-
honestly, I didn't think we were going to get any
Yeah.
of them. I thought
Right.
it was all just going to be silhouettes, and we wouldn't get any closer than that. But,
right.
They did zoom right into Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Who both seem like they'll be in anything. So I guess that wasn't really a big surprise.
They were behind the scenes having every episode anyways. Just
Exactly.
waiting for their shot.
Yeah. They called him and said, "Let me be in your show."
Yeah, exactly.
Not the other way around. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's the I think going forward, I think that season 2 is going to be I don't know what they're going to do, but I think it's
Well,
going to
yeah.
be just as crazy. Just it's like fantastic. Like
My only worry about a season 2 is that they will try too hard to one up season 1. You know what I mean? And it may not. Sometimes that doesn't work. But I have faith in James Gunn. Like he's done. Like Guardians 2 was just as good as Guardians 1. We haven't seen Guardians 3 yet, but
yeah.
I guess if anybody can do it, he can. But sometimes when a show is so good in the beginning, it's hard to top it. But
Yeah, but it wasn't it was good because of like the story, because of what they did. I mean, there was some world building that had to go on. Character building, I should say, that
Right.
maybe we don't have to do in the next one. We have an established group here. Do we keep
yeah, for
that
sure.
same
You
group?
can just jump. Yeah, you can just jump right in.
I think Robert Patrick comes back. They kind of demonstrated that that's
Well, yeah,
going
he'll
to
at least
be
be a
there.
force. He'll be a force ghost at least.
yeah.
So
And then because it's a second season, do we get bigger people, bigger DC characters showing up?
right.
More regular, So with the popularity that it had, that might be why it was the most watched. It's because we just figured that out. Look how bright we are. Once everybody started hearing who shows up, people just click on just to see that, so that gets the show a click.
Could be, yeah, it could be.
But I love John Cena. I think, wouldn't call him the greatest actor in the world. It's John Cena plays John Cena. But
yeah,
I loved
either,
it here. And, but yeah, what's his name? Not Peacemaker. Adrian. What the heck
Vigilante?
was Vigilante. That's what I couldn't come up with it. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was great.
He was such a, if you could have a comic relief to John Cena, it's like he was so good and he was so stupid. That's what made him so great. It's like he just kept saying, okay, I didn't know we were doing that. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good. Really good.
Yeah.
Looking forward to season 2 in, 2030 it'll be coming out?
Yeah. Who knows? Hopefully 24, I would hope.
No, maybe 23. We're
Well,
only
I
at the
don't know, 'cause
beginning of 22 now.
Yeah, but we still got Guardians to finish, right? So,
And when's that come out?
James Gunn has
That's true,
Guardians
too,
3 and the Guardians Easter special or whatever it is they're doing for Disney Plus. So, not Easter. Well,
Christmas.
whatever special, Christmas special, right?
Christmas special.
Yeah, which I imagine will come out.
Will come out this Christmas.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
When's
So
Guardians
hopefully
due out?
Hopefully he'll be done shooting by the end of the year. Guardians. I'm not sure actually when it even comes out, but yeah. So if we get Peacemaker next year, I'd be surprised, but obviously happy. I'm thinking more like 2024 though. So
Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, I was thinking. I mean, we're only in February of 2022,
right?
Right.
But I just don't know where they're at with
John.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't know where they're at with the filming of.
I know you're right. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I'm thinking of all the characters. I'm like, we can get them all back before next year. It's a great show.
Yeah.
But like how other shows, Mandalorian went back to back, then took a year off. But we were lucky enough to get Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. I mean, we had that to tide us over. So.
Yeah. It's like tying you over with broccoli.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you enjoyed that meal, but have some broccoli, and then we'll.
Let me interrupt these Reese's peanut butter cups with some broccoli.
Oh, maybe that should be the show title: Reese's peanut butter cups or broccoli.
Yeah.
All right. That do it for this week.
I think so.
All righty. That's it for this week. John, everybody, you can hit us up at Brightside_chat or at Arkham Comics. And please, we need 4. Please, we need to get Sally Struthers in here to talk this up. John, do your puppy dog eyes for the YouTube people. It's like we need 4. If you don't know what that means, you apparently fast forwarded past the best part of the show.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. That will do it for this week. We'll be back next week with a couple books, couple shows, and John will have the rest of the show.
There you go.
All right. Don't forget, we need 4.
Take care, everyone.
Hey, Fred.
Excuse me. That just hit me.
Is that keeping you up?
Yeah. Well, I saved it to the end of the show at least.
I know.